With your permission, 3-4 questions they have to ask.
Oh, yes, yes.
Then some questions.
I think first I want to say a few words. Dear brothers and sisters, indeed I am very, very happy you are just Working Journalist Federation is a meeting take now here Dharamsala. So it is my duty to welcome you. Because our last over 50 years, India is my home. Now last 49 years, Dharamsala is my home. So I want to extend my warm welcome to you. And then perhaps people come from plain, and particularly South India, you may feel a little cold, too much cold, maybe. Unfortunately, the last few days, weather become a little warmer. I think 2-3 weeks ago, you see, after snowfall on mountain, you see here, I was told become much cooler now, but last few days it's become warmer. I think in the form of welcome you. Now, last 50 years, I learned what is the meaning of democracy. Although 1956, my short visit to India at Buddha Jayanti celebration, at that time, I also visited Indian Parliament. A lot of noisy was a meeting. So at that time, you see, Prime Minister Zhou Enlai, the Chinese Prime Minister, Zhou Enlai, and Holum, Vice Prime Minister, Marshal Holum, as he came to Delhi. So I actually mentioned to Zhou Enlai, I noticed Indian Parliament is so much sort of noisy. That means everybody expressed their feeling and expression of disagreement, criticism. And I told Prime Minister Zhou Enlai, unlike, then I mentioned, unlike our Congress in Peking, because in 1954, 55, 56, so in 54, 55, actually 54, I went to Peking. One of the delegation member, one of the member of Tibetan delegation of the Chinese People's Congress. So I think 1 week, every day I attended a meeting. So the leaders made long speech, and most of the members, some of them, so whispering each other, gossip, and some older people sleep. So I told Prime Minister Zhou Enlai, unlike our meeting in Peking, in Delhi, a lot of noise, a lot of I think full of spirit. Each individual freedom or spirit. Then Zhou Enlai told me, now since you left, now much change already take place. He mentioned that. Actually now, nearly 60 years, still I think same in Peking, isn't it? In this country, I really impressed from then. Real people really enjoy freedom. Freedom of expression. Then meantime, India's newspaper, India's media also equally enjoying complete freedom. So a lot of criticisms, a lot of negative things you see appear. That's a healthy sign of the country. And of course, independent judiciary. So basically, in spite of many drawbacks, India basically democratic country, complete freedom, and particularly media's freedom. So that's why this huge country, population over 1 billion, and South Indian, North Indian, East Indian, West Indian, different language, different script, but everybody enjoy freedom, democracy, and everybody feel happy, remain within the Indian Republic. Of course, Kashmir, sometimes some problems there. That's mainly because of Pakistan. If partition did not happen, well, I think today, Pakistan themselves also is a much be stable. So in order to keep democracy, democratic principle, media have very, very important role. And also in order to maintain, or in some cases I think to improve more clean among the politician, among the judiciary, or businessmen, or even religious people, in order to make clean, well, I think media people have very important role. So wherever I met media people, in India, or in America, in Europe, or Japan, everywhere, I always telling them, media people should have long nose as long as elephant nose. So then smell everywhere. Front, everybody try to nice. So you must smell behind what is going on. That's very, very important. And inform public clearly, provided must be very honest, very truthful, objective, not biased. No matter what newspaper spend some this family or that party or this party, don't care as far as the media people, as far as the responsibility of media people. News or things must be very objective, must be very clear, and educate people. This is one thing. And then the second thing, my lifelong commitment till my death, I have two commitments. Number one commitment is promotion of human value, including ahimsa. Ahimsa means act of compassion. Without compassion, ahimsa impossible. With anger, with jealousy, with frustration, difficult to practice ahimsa. Ahimsa must go with compassionate heart. So that's the human value. So I always trying to share with people. We are human beings, irrespective whether religious believer or non-believer. Everybody have a right to be happy human being, happy human family. For that, money important, no question, but inner values such as compassion, sense of concern of others' well-being, sense of respect others' right. These are the human value. Actually, compassion, I always believe, we first learned the value of compassion is from our mummy, our mother, not from religious teacher, but from our mother. As soon as we're born, mother take the fullest care with tremendous affection. So that experience absorbed in our blood. So in our deep sort of blood, the appreciation of others' affection. And that also have the same potential to show other affection. So we are a species of mammal, come from mother. So everybody have this potential of compassion. So that's my number one commitment. Promotion of ahimsa with compassion. Then, second, my commitment is promotion of religious harmony. That also India's tradition. This country, 1,000 years, all major world religious tradition exist here. And in some cases, there's some problem here and there, but basically, the religious harmony very much alive in this country. And outside the world, even among same Muslim, fighting between Shia and Sunni, among some Christian, follower of Jesus Christ, Catholic, Protestant, sometimes also fighting. But in this country, all different traditions live together. So I always try to promote religious harmony. So these two things, actually, India's tradition. So therefore, I consider myself, and also I introduce myself to big audience. I'm messenger of India. I'm carrying the message of compassion, message of ahimsa. Compassion is the basis of ahimsa and religious harmony. So you, media people, should educate people from time to time these India's traditional value. It's not only traditional value, but today's world very much necessary, very much relevant. So in order to promote outside world more, widely, first within our own country, people should, educate these values. This I want to tell you. Sometimes I'm telling my Indian friend, the ahimsa in 20th century, Mahatma Gandhi, follow ahimsa practice for India's freedom fight, Indian freedom fight through non-violence. So at that time, outside world, may not much attention, right? Attention. But then later, 20th century, like Martin Luther King, the American civil right, civil right fighter. He very much attracted Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy, ahimsa, and if he followed Mahatma Gandhi's path. Some time ago, Martin Luther King's wife I met, and she told me, Martin Luther King, her husband, so much attraction towards Mahatma Gandhiji. So one time he even wanted to dress Gandhiji's dress. When I heard that, Imagine there's a Martin Luther King, American Negro, or Mahatma Gandhi's Indian sort of sari, and one stick and one watch here. It might looks a little bit strange. So this is the indication. He's so much attraction towards Mahatma Gandhiji, isn't it? And then the Nelson Mandela, South Africa. So later part of his life, he implemented Mahatma Gandhiji's non-violent practice. Even after he became president, he cared thoroughly about non-violent principle. After he retired, still he carried that. And with him, the Bishop Tutu also used to carry Mahatma Gandhi's, the spirit of ahimsa. So now there are more people outside the world. You see more, quite from time to time, you see saying ahimsa, ahimsa, non-violence. So therefore, outsider now taking more attention about non-violence, ahimsa, than India, the country, ahimsa, 1,000 years is kept. Now within the country, now must make every effort to alive.
To make it alive. Make it alive. Make alive.
To make alive. So sometimes I telling, India export ahimsa outside the world, some extent. So if everything export, nothing left within country is not good. So while we exporting more, we must produce more within the country. So ahimsa, religious harmony, not factories as of the product. These come through education. These come through spiritually, mentally. So India's mechanic things, machines, and including computers, now year by year, now much developing, fastly developing. This is not enough for ahimsa, religious harmony. We must educate people. So media people have very important role in this respect. So please keep in your mind. If you say every day, then people may not read your newspaper. So some sensational news is necessary, but occasionally, once a week or Sunday magazine like that, you see some deeper sort of a point to remind readers we have 1,000 years certain value, which is very, very relevant to today's world. If these message, these tradition of ahimsa, tradition of religious harmony, becoming more sort of available in the rest of the world, then the world becoming much more peaceful. That's no question. So therefore, India, I think India, now it seems now more and more people outside the world getting some sort of admiration about India's stability and democracy. So perhaps you see more. So I think more opportunity to export these 1,000-year-old India's tradition, ahimsa, and religious harmony. Thank you. That's all. So yeah, now some questions. And then of course I'm a Tibetan. Then my third sort of responsibility is about Tibet issue. But as far as Tibet issue is concerned, now right from the beginning, since we reached Mussoorie, we at once start work for democratization. So now since 2001, we already achieved elected political leadership. Professor Samdurumche, first elected political leadership in Tibetan history. Of course, I always describe him as a political leader, not Prime Minister, because we are sort of the office, our department there, we Central Secretary.
Central Tibetan Administration.
There's no word of Tibetan government. So this is sometimes a little inconvenient. So in any way, here, large number of Tibetan refugee community, and we have sort of extra sort of responsibility to keep Tibetan intellectual, Tibetan culture, Tibetan spirituality. Therefore, since 1960, as our request, Pandit Nehru, set up one special committee headed by Union Education Minister, then Shirmali. That's right. And then, we set up, Prime Minister, Government of India used to set up that society, and under that society, now almost now, and of course beside Tibetan children's village or these things, I think now 50 years, after 50 years, entire Tibetan new generation in this country, some education, basic education, everyone, I think 99%,
Almost 100%.
almost 100% educated. So therefore we have sort of a lot of work. So for that reason, we need some central sort of administration. So that's the reality, isn't it? Whether other people consider this exile government or not, that's up to them. We are not promoting that. So in any way, Rinpoche, I always describe as a boss of in political field, Rinpoche or Professor Samdor Rinpoche, my boss in political field. Since 2001, my position is semi-retired position. But in spiritual field, I'm his boss. If he needs in spiritual field some discipline, then I have the authority. At the political field, even if sometimes my view and his view sometimes is different. So I always respect him. He elected one. So that's our work for democratization. So that's just my sort of so complete because of that. Yes.
Now, friends, as I said earlier, we'll have a system. There will be a couple of questions for His Holiness. He'll answer, and then you'll have. They have brought various mementos from their states. They want to present to Your Holiness. They'll stand here. They'll have photograph with you, and they'll go.
Good. Very good.
So first we'll have question and answer session. After all, we are all working journalists. Rajnikant Vashisht from New Delhi.
His Holiness, my question is, Tibet की autonomy स्वायत्तता.
इसको ले लो.
Hello.
Yes.
हिंदी में.
Either Hindi or English, no problem.
तिब्बत की स्वायत्तता के संघर्ष की दिशा में अभी कितना सफर बाकी है और आपका भविष्य का रोड मैप क्या है?
안데 자나 슝긴 안즈다 삼반 남다게 세즘나 커셔레 랑종딩 아주 주의야래 근데 자나 슝기 진난고 안에 타바단 진난고 안에 아주 카저레 딱 와셔야 되더라 신 안주 안 드셔야 돼 저들이 비싼 안 되지 준대 돼야 그게 아주 중요한 말이에요
जहाँ तक हम लोगों की मांग का प्रश्न है हम बहुत ईमानदारी से चीन की संविधान के अंतर्गत जो स्वायत्तता की प्रविधान है उसका अंतर्गत ही मांग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन चीन अपने मन में एक भय और एक सस्पिशन रखते हैं कि हमेशा हमको सेपरेटिस्ट या अलग के रूप में मानते हैं। इसलिए अभी तक हमारा जो प्रयास है इसकी कोई खास परिणाम या नतीजा कुछ निकला नहीं है, लेकिन हम अपने जो प्रयास हैं अपने प्रयास को करते रहेंगे।
No. 제 장하쇼가 더 장하쇼기 가다 토번 남도 인데 따지디 나저한테 타거다 데멘시아 디 니도 니글로라 자수체베리 되네 아주 딱 데미 아주 슈 레저인데 저주지도 레저인도 투야리 그거 다도도 차데 이것도 차 깨지 침벌이 차 패시 아무디 비어 아무튼 죽어들 나베 거리야 장저이네 달라나면 전에 랑제 쭉 매도 세도 쓰는 뭐지 제일 레디 딕 패시티브에 니도 죽다 니베나라 저희는 니도 죽다 시원하네 달라 카자리 선이 견주자리 시오자 숙적송 저 되는데 카자 지금 신경 다 신신도 दिशा야 돼 다 쳐질 거고
चीन की नेतृत्व अपने राजनीति के कुछ कारणों से दलाई लामा जी को स्वायत्तता की मांग करते हुए भी उसको स्वायत्तता नहीं मानते हैं। 2002 से हमारा वार्तालाप पुनः प्रारंभ हुआ, उसके बाद 8 बार उनके साथ वार्तालाप हुआ है। 5वीं बार जब वार्तालाप हुआ था तो उन लोगों ने ये माना कि अब हमको समझ में आता है कि दलाई लामा जी सेपरेट या स्वाधीनता की मांग नहीं कर रही हैं, लेकिन उसकी तत्काल 2-3 महीने के बाद दोबारा उनके सारे प्रचार के माध्यम से दलाई लामा जी एक छिपे हुए स्वाधीनता की प्रयास कर रहे हैं, इसका प्रचार करना शुरू किया। तो इसलिए ये बहुत साफ है कि उनकी राजनीति के कारणों से वो यथार्थ को स्वीकार नहीं कर रहे हैं।
Himanshu Chatterjee from West Bengal, Calcutta. Your Excellency, the people of the rich countries of the present world are only running after money, especially to supplying weapons, and not caring about the poor people. How this problem can be solved?
Of course, my own sort of view, whether correct or not, you have to investigate. That my view is, firstly, we are lacking respect of others' well-being. The people, each country, their top priority is their own interest. Is not much taking care about the rest of the world. Now, because of that, now not only global level, but also within the nation, national level, this gap, rich and poor. Even in India, some rich family, billionaire, very rich, but still poor people, and the street children, even in Delhi. We often used to seeing some children. It looks very poor condition. So that's lack of moral principle, lack of taking care of others' well-being. This is connection with a sense of compassion or moral ethics, number one. Number two, lack of holistic view. Today's world heavily interdependent, interconnected. Like Asian future depend on Arab or Europe. And Europe's future also depend on Asia, Europe, like that. And also Latin America's future depend on North America. North America also is depend on rest of the world. That's today's reality. The global economy, no national boundary, everything beyond the national boundary, just one world. Then ecology problem, environment issue. There are also no national boundary. So we have to realize whole world is part of we, part of us. I have strong feeling now, very concept of our mind, we and they. Now, according to today's reality, entire world is part of we. We must look whole world as one entity, one body. That I think is very, very important. Now, richer countries, they should look the poorer country or underdeveloped or developing country as a part of themselves. So they must develop equally. And rich and poor must reduce, because all are same, all are member of same human family. So these two things, then I think world becoming, I think, more peaceful. One reason, because of economy gap, and poorer section of people or poorer section of nation, sometimes more frustration. Frustration transforms anger. Anger transforms violence. So that's my own view. Two things: lack of moral principle and lack of holistic view.
Your Holiness, I have a question. My name is Parmanand Pandey. I am from Delhi. Your Holiness, do you think that President Obama succumbed to the pressure of China, that he could not find even time to meet you?
Now, actually, during his election, he telephoned me. I think last year, one occasion I was in America, he telephoned me and he expressed his concern about Tibet. Then last year's 10th March crisis had been inside Tibet. I wrote to him, I appealed to him, as some other leaders whom I know. His response is very good. So I'm quite sure he very much sort of committed to do something for Tibet issue. So therefore, when indication come, their administration a little hesitant my meeting before his visit to China, then I felt, oh, now better to better sort of say such sort of situation without meeting me, then he can tell Chinese leaders more effectively, more forcefully. Actually, at that time, CNN, my sort of short interview with CNN, and then they asked me, Obama, why Obama is not, whether I feel, disappointment, things like that. Then I told no, because President Obama himself very much want to do something for Tibet. It is sure. So he want to carry more serious engagement about Tibet. So if he, before his visit China, meet me, then Chinese government have to take some kind of punitive action to him. Like Chinese take some punitive action to French president and also German chancellor, like that. So if they take that kind of sort of action, it also is very difficult to Chinese president. Their relation with the US is something important. Then meantime take some punitive action as a result of meeting Dalai Lama. So therefore, his sympathy was there. His genuine desire to do something for Tibet is there, sure. Therefore, I did not insist my meeting. So then they indicated soon after their visit, so they're ready to meet me, like that. So I'm now looking forward to see him perhaps beginning of next year, early next year. So like that.
So we are from Lord Buddha's and Lord Mahavir's places, Bihar.
Oh yes, sir.
Proud of your.
And very sacred state, but at the same time very poor.
Yeah.
Poorest state.
Yeah. We are very proud to come here, Lord Devbhumi. So one thing, Bihar government of Bihar, CM, is going to renovate our oldest historical international university, Nalanda.
Oh yes.
So are you, your government, Tibet government, is going to having any program to establish Tibetan study center or some research center or any community center there at Nalanda region?
As I think former president Abdul Kalam, I think involved. No? So once you see one meeting in Delhi, you see he mentioned that, and then we very much happy, very much sort of encouraged, because I think actually we are not sort of physically not involved, but real sort of lineage of Nalanda tradition. I think we only Tibetan kept alive, no one else. So all, you see, painting, you see these paintings, of course, beside Buddha, then rest 17, the masters, all come from Nalanda. Like Nagarjuna, Aryadeva, and Buddha Palita, and Ajaya, Babavik, and Chandrakirti, like that. And the Arya Asanga, and Basuband, and then Digna, Dharmakirti, and Chandarakshita, and Kamalashila. All these are Nalanda master. So we not just keep these things as for object of offering, but we study text wrote by these masters. I myself, very poor student of Buddhist philosophy. I'm very lazy. Since when I started my learning, I think him also is the same. At very young age, you see, we start learning. At early age, you see, we study learning by heart, root text wrote by these pandits. So when I start learning, I'm rather lazy. So my student always keep whip to show me. So some extent, out of fear, I carry this study, not very voluntarily. Now I realize it's so much useful, those root texts which I learned out of fear. Now I realize, really precious, really precious. So therefore, now in India, I think almost 10,000 monk students as well as some nuns now carrying study, teaching of these Nalanda master. So the real Nalanda tradition, I think we still keep very much alive. So in future, I think I'm quite sure when Nalanda institution about is complete, then they need teacher with sort of full of knowledge. Then I'm quite sure they will ask us to bring some teacher. That's quite sure. Only problem, you see, the Tibetan monastic institution now lacking study of the Sanskrit language or foreign language. So that another sort of institution, Sanat, they are also, you see, the subject to study Sanskrit and Hindi, English. So we are ready, and it is our moral responsibility to repay all knowledge which we learned from Nalanda tradition, from India, now to the 21st century. It is our moral responsibility. Whenever we have opportunity to bring back, is our moral responsibility. Good, thank you.
Next year, February, would you like to
You what?
We are inviting you, sir. Next year in February, if you have.
February is correct.
I think we are having All India conference in Nalanda, February 13, 14, 15. He is hosting us. 2,000 journalists from India and abroad will come there. He is hosting it.
Next year?
He wants February 13, 14, 15.
February 13, 14.
Address them. 2,000 from India and abroad.
Oh, 14, then Tibetan New Year.
13, 14, 15.
So that's difficult. That's sad. Very sad. Just New Year. Usually, you see, we have some sort of traditional, some spiritual functions like that. Certainly. Perhaps I think if you feel okay, then I will send some message.
Please, you write me.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
I am Hasib Siddiqui from UP Lucknow. Are you still hopeful that Hasib Siddiqui from UP Lucknow? Are you still hopeful that you will be able to achieve your goal through diplomatic channels and ahimsa? And in what time?
What time? Nobody knows. I think on this 6 billion human being, I think nobody knows that. Yes, only God. But I think, you see, basically things are changing. Things are changing. Now today's China, they compare 30, 40 years ago or 20, 30 years ago, much changed. I think, you see, one example. These days, I met number of Chinese scholars and professors from mainland China. When they meet us, seems not much fear. They express their critical view about their government policy. And they have courage meeting us. So often I ask them whether you have some problems. If you meet us, then they say no. So such things, I think 20 years ago, I think impossible. Now in mainland China, gradually more freedom, more courage, at least I think, more courage, criticize government policy among the intellectuals. So this is the indication, it's changing. Then since the 10th of March, last year's 2008 10th of March crisis happened. Since then, we noticed about 800 articles in Chinese language written by Chinese. About 800. many of writers from mainland China all express solidarity with us, with the Tibetan. This is the positive indication.
Last question.
For your Excellency, what is my question is, my name is Parameswara. I am from Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh. My question is, it's very separate and a very hot topic in Andhra Pradesh. What is about Shambhavi matter in Andhra Pradesh? Shambhavi. Many human rights associations and media persons, intellectual persons are filed petition against Shambhavi AP Human Rights Council. The AP government also ordered inquiry this matter. Sir, what is your opinion in these consequences regarding this matter? Your Andhra Pradesh visit fixed or not?
Yes, I think almost now 2 years, I think, that young girl, she came here and we met. She came to see me and I met, and expressing her serious concern about Tibetan freedom and Tibetan spirituality. Since then, she came, I think, few times. And also she carries some puja regarding Tibetan freedom. So I appreciate. Then she invited me her own place. Amaravati. Surya Nandi. So I accepted. But meantime, I also noticed some newspaper, some noise about her there. So I asked my private office, ask directly to them. Now some, you see, little controversial things now happening. So I asked them to directly, because of that, keep contact with them. So I'm going there, but in the meantime, we should be more realistic. I don't like, you see, the too much talk in sky. That's not good. We must be on earth. That's, of course, important.
So last question from Dharamtala Press Club. Last question from Dharamtala Press Club, please.
Last question, yes.
Last,
yeah.
please.
प्रणाम, मैं शशि भूषण पुरोहित हिमाचल प्रदेश से।
Yes.
मेरा सवाल तिब्बत की आज़ादी को लेकर है, संघर्ष को लेकर है। एक पीढ़ी गुजर गई है लड़ते लड़ते। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर ये लड़ाई कहाँ है? क्या ये सपना अधूरा रह जाएगा?
Oh, I think things will change. That's definite. I think another reason, People's Republic of China, which still is the rule of also the totalitarian system, without independent judiciary, without freedom, without media's freedom, or free information. So that system on this planet outdated. So people from China, very important nation, in order to carry constructive rule on this planet, respect, trust from the rest of the world is very essential. For that reason, China have to go along world trend, world going this way. No matter how China powerful, cannot go this way. We have to go along with world trend. That's democracy, freedom, rule of law, independent judiciary, and freedom of news is very important. So therefore, things will change, definitely. How soon, as I mentioned earlier, nobody knows.
मित्रों, बहुत कम समय है. His Holiness has to go also.